Were you ever wondering who has the highest body count? Spree killers, sociopaths, serial killers. No, it's always the quiet ones. That's right. It's the ones that don't like admitting to crimes. It's the ones that don't get caught because they can't get caught. That's right. We're talking about your local government. Now, when we want to maximize carnage, which we've so well managed to achieve new and interesting ways of killing each other, we've actually reached a point where we decided that it's too tiresome for us to just kill our fellow man. We need to develop something to make our lives easier. So that's right, we have developed a machine that not only kills, but also eats you. Well, anyway, this was developed by DARPA. That's right, the non-shady government agency in America. Now, this machine that we're going to talk about is the EATR. That is spelled EATR. Weird spelling, but I'll explain later. Now, maximizing carnage is one thing, but creating machines that eat people is just wrong, in my opinion, but hell, that's just what I personally think. And that's because I can think. Anyway, we are going to explore the weird world of man-eating robots. Welcome to Fluorescent Future, where science fiction is science fact. Now, this was developed by DARPA with this distinct idea of it carrying heavy loads for the military, for the army, to make sure that they can go into places which were otherwise inaccessible. They wanted to create a machine that they didn't have to worry about a fuel source. So they've done something called biomass fuel. Biomass fuel is absolutely beautiful. The concept is this machine can literally run on anything organic. It can run on vegetables. It can run on meat. It can run on any kind of biomass. That means organic things. That said, it can run on wood chips and chicken fat. Now, the thing is that this thing's fuel tank, or should I say biomass compartment, is big enough to fit a fully grown man. This, in my opinion, is rather worrying, and this is why the media had a bit of an outcry. They say that this entire machine's existence was leaked in 2009. And then again, they said that they closed it down in 2015. Now, there's varying accounts of how much this machine's development costs, but no one's going to put money into something, technology that is on such a high level that it could run on plants and just discard it. They said they shut this down, but why would they shut this down? It's a brilliant idea. At the end of the day, who's going to go up against someone who's got toys which can literally eat you? This is a perfect deterrent. This can also take soldiers into terrain where no one else could go, because it can carry heavy machinery for you. It can take heavy supplies. This machine was very well thought out. This is not a joke. I have no idea why they said it's been discontinued. But then again, why would you want to come up with something and say to the public, right, we have lost the plot. We have actually got man-eating machines. Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this. Now, you think to yourself, who would have possibly developed this? Now, this is the reason people think that this is shady, because it is Robot Technologies Incorporated. Now, when you hear that name, you think to yourself, hold on, it's impossible that someone came up with a name that bland. So dreary, so boring. What the hell were you thinking of, right? It's almost like the company's been made up. And then you got the other one, Cyclone Power Technologies. Now, Cyclone Power Technologies, Cyclone Power Technologies Incorporated, It just sounds like some middle-class guy that's been a paper pusher his entire life, had to come up with a company name on the spot, took a look at his son, pimply little 16-year-old playing Xbox, and he goes, son, if you had a robotics company, what would you call it? And he goes, Cyclone Power Incorporated. Yeah. So all of these company names sound slightly made up, but it's purely coincidental. These companies do have histories, and the weird thing about this is that they were actually dabbling in different types of fuel sources. In fact, they were leading in alternative fuel sources and robotics, despite their cheesy names that no one wanted to believe. So this is one of those moments where we can't accidentally whip the government for coming up with some shady conspiracy, because all they wanted to do was literally create a man-eating robot, but without it being too shady. Right. So anyway, these two companies set together a joint effort to create this robot. Now you're thinking to yourself, did it have distinct reason for the fuel capacity, the biomass fuel capacity to hold a person? Was that the intention? Looking at this machine, it looks like an angry lawnmower. It's just a box. Can you imagine how humiliating it must be to get killed by something that looks like an angry lawnmower? Because this thing has got no menacing features except for the robotic arm and the chainsaw that's attached. Okay, that could be a bit of a, how should I say, buzzkill. Get it? Chainsaw? Okay, not the point. Now, this thing people claim that this thing could eat people. The media went absolutely into a frenzy and everyone said this is a bad idea. But was it actually designed to do that? Now, opinions vary, and my one shouldn't really count, but I'm going to put it out there because it's my show. And I think the answer is yes. I am really not looking to reach pension with this opinion. Well, anyway, that's just a joke. But what isn't a joke is you got this guy called Henry Schultz. Right, let me just double check if I got his name right there. Harry Schultz, as I said. Harry Schultz. Now, Harry Schultz, sorry, quick notes. Now, Harry Schultz over there worked for Cyclone Power Technologies. The problem with this is that he's the CEO, and he apologized to the public for creating it in such a way that it can eat people. Now, you must realize the best way to make this go away is to lie. The last thing you want to do is tell the truth. Hey guys, we created a man-eating machine. This is bad. As in, don't do this. So anyway, if you deny, it would have went a bit better down with the public. But clearly, someone was not thinking. You could have also passed the buck and said it was a design error, and then fired someone that had nothing to do with this. Like always. Passing the buck, it works. That is how industry is run. People pay attention instead of scaring the living out of everyone. So, anyway, this guy called Harry Schultz from Cyclone Power Technologies actually apologized for creating it like this. Sometimes you got to question people's competence. We do not admit to creating the Terminator. A very, very, very worse version of the Terminator. Now anyway, just because the thing looks really boring doesn't mean that it's not an absolute carnage-infused machine from hell, which I think it actually is a better title. That's my opinion. Now anyway, I'm going to do something now which is really decrepit and really, really makes your insides churn, makes your stomach turn over. You know what I mean? That's right. I'm not even going to try explain this in a nice way, but it actually is disgusting that I'm about to do this. I am going to use the Guardian newspaper as a point of reference. I am going to work with me, give a reaction video to a newspaper article. Now, when reading the newspaper, or the Guardian newspaper, it would make sense if you just remove the word news. But this is one incident, one case where they weren't full of crap. So anyway, Here we go.
The following article appeared in The Guardian. It was written by Bobby Johnson, San Francisco, Sunday, 2009, July. Right. The heading clearly states, flesh-eating robot is actually a vegetarian, says inventors. Right, and it's followed by a picture of the Terminator, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but they naturally wanted to give it some kind of, I don't know, cheesy scare factor. Right, the following is the article. It sounds like something pulled straight from the grisly scenes of Terminator, the unstoppable military robot that's powered itself by devouring everything in its path, including trees, grass, and even, according to reports, dead bodies. But after a string of headlines that labeled the machine as a corpse eater and creepy, the robot's creators have gone on their PR offensive to extinguish rumors that their invention will feed on humans or animal flesh. All right, I just need to give a bit of a input there. If it can do it, it can be programmed to do it. It's a war machine, so I cannot see where people's concern is with this. The machine inventor said that the energetically autonomous tactical robot known as EATR for short does indeed power its biomass engine by digesting organic materials, but that is not its intended to chomp its way through battlefields of fallen soldiers. And again, it's a military robot. Unfortunately, a lot of things are never sanctioned in war, but again, war is dirty, so why invent something that is the ultimate weapon and then not use it? We completely understand the public's concern about the futuristic robots feeding on human population, but that is not our mission, said Harry Scholl, the chief executive of Cyclone Power Technologies, one of the companies behind the machine. We are focused on demonstrating that our engines can create an usable green power from plentiful renewable plant matter. The commercial applications alone of this earth-friendly engine energy solution are enormous, which I agree with, but why is the military involved in this? The remarkable move is in its reaction to the buzz of the project created when it emerged that it was already in the testing phase thanks to funding from the Pentagon. Right, Pentagon, that's a red flag right there. The concept was originally put forward in 2003. It has been pushed forward with money from the U.S. Military Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DARPA, a successor to the organization that was funded early development and of the internet. Okay, so basically it's been funded entirely by the military. U.S. officials hope that the steam-powered engine, can be used by military to create self-sufficient robots that could survive on its own for months at a time. Possibly users put forward for this is team including battlefield, ambulance, or mobile gun turret. Right, so this thing can be a self-aware tank and not autonomous tank. Wow, okay. Another of the robots inventors, Dr. Robert Finkelson of Robotic Technologies Incorporated, said the EATR had built-in system that could help it determine whether the materials that it indigests was animal, vegetable, or mineral. In my opinion, we don't really care because it can be programmed and basically it is a thing of war. Right, is it not on the menu? If it's not on the menu, it's not going to be eaten, he told Fox News. Okay, now automatically any form of competency that it's not on the menu, it's not going to be eaten, he told Fox News. Okay, now automatically any form of competency that these people might have had or credibility is now gone. There are certain signatures from the different kinds of materials that would distinguish vegetable mass from other materials. No shit, Sherlock. If you can use other... it can also use other conventional fuels, such as petrol, diesel, or cooking oil to keep going, but in a statement put out by the group, it reiterated that it would be illegal to create a robot that would use dead bodies as an energy source. Desecration of the dead is a crime under Article 15 of the Geneva Convention, and it is certainly not something that is sanctioned by DARPA, Cyclone, or TRI, that stands for Robotic Technologies Incorporated. Now, the following articles basically saying, like, we really did not put this forward in the way that you guys perceived it. It is not a man-eating robot, except for the fact that it can do that. Right. Anyway, sorry I read it so quick, but I want to keep it short.
That came as a bit of a shock. When you can actually read The Guardian and not have crap, I have to give it to them. They actually did do something good with this one. But now, we've actually learned quite a few things today. Namely, that this machine, the energetic, autonomous, tactical robot, is able to run on 68 kilograms of organic matter, biomass fuel, if you'd like. This thing can fuel itself. It's autonomous. It is a beautiful machine when you come to think about it, minus the eating people part. Right, now this thing can do 161 kilometers on one charge, or one, I'm not going to go and say human, but on one biomass blast. So anyway, to kind of like put this into perspective, this thing looks like an angry lawnmower. It's got a chainsaw. It already looks like a woodlands machine. Why was this not developed into an actual agricultural tool? Why is it that the military always has to butcher brilliant technology? This does not need to be made as a weapon of war. This can actually be done in such a way that it can benefit mankind. Lumberjacks, believe it or not, have a high mortality rate. It is a very dangerous job. This thing already is built to do their job for them. Hence the chainsaw. This thing can be programmed. It could run off the branches of the trees that it cuts down. Isn't human life a little bit more valuable than a dangerous toy? This agricultural tool, if you would have converted it, would be genius. Think of old farmer McDonald coming into town on a Sunday to pick up food scraps from restaurants to power his plowing machine or combine harvester, however those people use, to grow food for us. This will be fantastic. This is a great idea. And I personally think this technology should be exploited. But then again, that's just my opinion. And my opinion counts as my show. I've said it before. Boom. But now we're going to also have to see the downside to this. Because you'll always get some idiot megalomaniac sitting in a tent somewhere going, you know what? Striking down the evil West with a fiery sword of nuclear power is just so 90s. It's just so passe, sorry. It's just a bit bland. So I'll tell you what. Let's go onto the internet, get the schematics for this thing, and recreate a machine that the Americans have created, except we make it more menacing because you already got everything online. So do you see where this is a double-edged sword? But either way, in my opinion, we should pursue it. I know that sounds a bit dodgy coming from me, but not everything has to be a weapon of war. And hopefully, mankind, as a species, we can grow up and start acting like a bloody adult for once and use things in a positive way. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. I just thought of actually bringing something to the world that is informative. A machine that looks so boring that it absolutely just cries out to see if the inventor was not a 10-year-old child that had psychological problems. Even though it does come across like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to say goodbye and explain before I go that this robot over here was given to me by my mate Michael Michlu, a guy from the Czech Republic. We used to live together. He gave it to me because I love cartoons and manga. I never knew that I actually need this as toy, but I kept it sentimental reasons. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for that. Thanks for making this really boring machine look a bit exciting with great crap at the back. This over here, believe it or not, is a generic equivalent to a manga robot. It's made from China. It's a cheap crap you get on the street. But I do appreciate it and do a lot of love for that. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to say, we shouldn't throw away tech that is this advanced and this good and so beneficial to mankind just because it's in the wrong hands. With the right safeguards, we could actually create a better world. By safeguards, I mean not government sanctioned, because that will always be a disaster. But that's enough of a moral rant for me. I'm just going to say, listen guys, a lot of love. Boom.